Okay, let's answer some questions. We're going to answer some questions for Random Forest, and we're going to get them now. So, first question here comes from Mr. Lucas, who asks, do you like the NTW 20x110? Not really, I'm not gonna lie, I actually don't. Personally likes the BFG to a certain extent. I don't like to die to the BFG, so it's kind of personal to use. Oh my, why is there so many people in here? What the heck? I don't know, man. I think one thing that really bothers me about the NTW 20x110 is getting 2,000 kills. 2,000 kills to unlock the conversion, and then another 50 kills to get the short battle. And pretty much the short battle is what makes the NTW 110 compete with the BFG. Maybe if you're dressed in a Zulu attire and then you just go out of your way and just snipe people with the NTW. Yeah, that's good. You know, it's fun to throw in Phantom Forces, but I don't throw a lot of the time unless I'm with friends. I don't really play in a trolling manner. So personally, I would say the NTW is decent. With 10x110, with 20x110, it's not that fun. I wouldn't prefer it. Even if someone wanted to try it out, I wouldn't even suggest it. Next question here from Mr. Lucas is, what do you think of the M16A1 buff? It's decent. I still like the ramp up RPM for the M16A1 that we had a long time ago. Actually not that long ago, but still. I think I prefer that instead. It was good that they did nerf the RPM, or completely remove it, I guess. Mainly because it was actually kind of really unbalanced. I mean, you start off with really low recoil at range, and then as you go, the recoil kind of gets out of hand, but the RPM is like really fast. So it's probably good that they actually changed it. We don't know if it's really gonna be a broken gun. It's not that special compared to M16A3. It's kind of more of a CQC based assault rifle. But I mean, I'm pretty sure you could just put like a carbine stock on, and it would still perform exactly the same as the M16A1. It's still a good gun though. The buff was probably a good call. Third question from Mr. Lucas: what do you expect the next update to encased? Dual wielding. Let me explain why I want dual wielding, right? I don't want dual wielding as in, oh, it's probably gonna be super broken, will make my guns look so cool. No, it would actually just bring more players to the game, or especially the players who have suggested dual wielding for or discussed dual wielding for a while. I think the devs, it's either the devs won't be able to add dual wielding because of limitations, Roblox limitations, especially for Phantom Forces, or it's just they don't want to add it because of balancing reasons, which is completely fair. But I do have a suggestion on a way to balance it, which would be to have a right click, have a slight zoom into both weapons, and then left click is your firing. But when it's firing, it's only shooting one weapon at a time, so it's kind of like a way to balance. And then, oh my word, I'm dead. And then pretty much you just reduce the RPM so that you can't just spam both guns really fast. Maybe with specific weapons, like maybe if M17 had to be dual wield. I don't want high mag capacity weapons to have dual wielding. It's not gonna be fair. It's just gonna be an SMG but built for extreme close quarters, which is probably gonna make some weapons really pointless, or just make some weapons extremely broken, like M1911. So I think dual wielding just needs to be very well considered. I mean, yet again, if my idea doesn't completely work, Stylus could always just refer to Apex Legends balancing. I mean, they did a good job at a okay. Apex Legends pretty much did a really good job at it, making a really balanced, like, I feel so brain dead. Why am I so bad? Second thing I want them to add is new maps. No, don't add new maps to the current rotation. Add a whole new rotation, and don't add maps that looks good, please add maps that takes reasonable amount of consideration based on layout. First, I feel like the map making community, if they had to make new maps, they should first focus solely on layout first, so that we can have balanced layout for both players who prefer playing long range, close range, mid range, and probably to focus as well on specific aspects, like maybe if you're a shotgun, you prefer grinding pistols, you prefer grinding SMGs with cursed scopes on top of them. Doesn't really matter. But as long as we can have a lot of inclusivity with the maps that is being played, I feel like we could see some actually interesting maps. I just don't want to see maps that looks really good but plays absolutely terrible. Like, I don't want to be the guy that's criticizing without decent constructivity, but Biohazard, one of the Halloween maps, is absolutely bad. It's kind of like a reskin, kind of like a revamp from Bazaar. For those who haven't realized, Biohazard is literally Bazaar, but with extra steps and with a different theme. It's pretty much what it is. It's just Bazaar, but with some little changes here and there. It's not really much. And the layout, obviously, there wasn't any, I would say, preferably decent changes that made the map a little bit different. So I really hope we get some decent maps and not just revamped maps. I think the devs should also take a little bit of responsibility in what maps they're allowed to get in the map rotation, or even just do landing test plays. I mean, yeah, sure, get in test plays, see how it plays, that's actually kind of fair. I think what the devs should also do is adding test plays maps into main game for like a specific amount of time, so that the public can actually get a decent opinion on what they think of the maps before they get completely added, or that changes can be made so the maps can be a little bit more balanced. So yeah, hopefully we get some decent maps. The fourth question here is, Mr. Dodo Lord, is what are good loadouts for different ranks on keyboard and mouse controller? Guns like the M4A1, like, if I would highly suggest focusing on grinding the beginner weapons, because they are so good, especially for either you're experienced or you're new, because these guns are pretty much just designed to be balanced with every other weapon in the game. They're just OP in their own way, shape and form. So I would probably just suggest like using guns, maybe not exactly the M4A1, maybe guns like guns like the AN94 for that range, and then there's also 500 Phantom for the MK11. Like, I feel like guns that are within below rank 10, I would highly suggest players using. It's just to get a grip, if you're a new player, to get a grip on how to play the game. The second question here from Mr. Dodo Lord is, what are some playstyles so people can improve? One of the playstyles I highly suggest is playing very patiently. Very patiently, especially if you're new. Play patiently. Right? This is pretty much just helps you get a better understanding of the maps that you probably just slide cancel through. Because I'm very sure you probably just super jump your way through specific maps and you don't really learn how to adjust to specific combat scenarios in certain areas of specific maps. Like, sometimes it even happens to me where I would just run through a map, I wouldn't really know what I'm doing. I think Ravor is probably one of the harder maps to learn how to play. It's not easy, and you're probably gonna die way more likely than you think. I am going 2 KD at least. I think it's because of my the SVK, one of the really OP DMRs we've seen in a while. Patience is extremely rewarding, and you probably would find something new just solely for playing with pure patience. So that's definitely one of the playstyles. In case you want to know what weapons would fit this playstyle, I would suggest using guns like the MP, like SMGs. Use SMGs, shotguns, and DMRs. And if you're really patient, you can use snipers. That is if you are really patient. Otherwise, you can always just use shotguns, SMGs, and DMRs, like what I do. Yeah. Next question from Mr. Dodo is, make the game more popular. Okay, so how can we make the game more popular? I would suggest adding the more needed, adding like the more needed features in this game that should have been added a long time ago. I think one of those features is kill cams, which just helps players, especially if they are new, to understand exactly how they died, instead of being dumbstruck after they got sniped through like 10 walls and having no clue how they died, or just getting blown up by a grenade from an unfathomable distance. It will just do them justice. It will also help them like be able to tell whether they died to a grenade or, you know. I just died to a zip. People are using the zip now? Have I been living under a rock? I'm like the only player on console that has 1k on the zip. What was the question again? But yeah, aspects to make the game a little bit more popular. Pretty much, yeah, kill cams would be pretty huge. I think ranked would also be a really huge aspect of the game that was supposed to be added a long time ago. Most first-person shooter games has ranked to split the community in a way where, well, they don't hate each other, but they at least know what they want to play in a game. I just died. So they know what they want to play in a game. Like, for example, you are more of the casual player, so you won't be playing ranked. And you know when you do play casual, you'll be either playing with newer players or you'll be playing with players that are high rank, but they also prefer to play in a much more relaxed manner. Like, say it's 3 AM and you're fatigued, but you kind of want to play video games. It's kind of like that. So I feel like splitting the community with the ones that actually want to play the game a specific way with the ones that don't completely agree with that way that it's being played, they can separate each other and just enjoy the game in their own way. The next question comes from Mr. Bajappa here. Which era of Phantom Forces do you miss most? Now this is actually kind of a little bit of a deep kind of question, because there are two different eras of Phantom Forces that I really miss. I think the one era was the time when I first started playing Phantom Forces, which like most people would actually go, like when they enjoy a game they really miss the old version after like all the updates come out and changes happen. They tend to miss the older version because it's something they are so familiar with, and it's the identity that they grew up with, you know, technically like over the years. So I would say probably the beginning, like the first time I started playing, was the era I missed the most. That was the era where guns like the C7A1, the M60, like were really broken, like unfathomably broken. Like you couldn't even spawn and you just got two shot by this gun. It was that bad. But the difficulty is what made the game fun. You didn't always have to do well, as long as you... It's pretty much just the experience that comes with it is what makes it really enjoyable, pretty much. So I think the first time I started playing, and the Pacific update. Yeah, the Pacific update is pretty much like one of those updates I actually really missed the most. Probably the Pacific update more, because I mean, yeah, guns were also in the process of being balanced. He had so many chances to shoot me there. I don't know what he was doing. Probably the Pacific update as well. Although Neon District was heavily considered a terrible map, which I can agree. I did like the theme. The layout was a problem. The spawns were a problem. I kind of wish the map designers took a little bit more initiative in fixing those core problems with Neon District to make it a little bit more enjoyable for all player types. But I would still say, even though Neon District did not really do such a great job, it was still my favorite. We got funny Squid Game looking characters in the Pacific update. We got a lot of Japanese themed melees. We also got the Bauer Type 20, which is like one of my favorite assault rifles, even after so long from that update. We got a decent amount of stuff like into the game, like a lot of content. We even have like the Pacific case. We have the we have like a couple of cases. The Pacific, I remember it was the Pacific I think it was only the Pacific actually. Um, the Pacific, we have the cold front was also added. The cold front was also added, and the Pacific. I think it was just those two. Topograph was also one of them. Topograph and Sinus was like, I don't know if Topograph and Sinus was part of the update, but they were pretty much added roughly the same time. So that was actually really cool to see. I'd say probably Pacific update. I'm gonna go with Pacific update. Top tier update. Would definitely go back and play that again. The next question here comes from Mr. Dodo again, asking to give more details on updates that occur. I think as time goes on, Mr. Dodo, I will definitely be talking or like making a couple of videos about like updates and changes that happens. I'll do. Why is he laying there? I'll probably do a lot more videos like this where I talk about changes, new guns that's being added. You know, just give a little bit of news on upcoming changes in Phantom Forces. I don't want to do it so much where I just end up being like every other content creator, that as soon as one change on a gun gets added, then they make a whole 2-hour video explaining it. But I'll definitely do, if I do it, I'll do it in a much more different way. So yeah. And then Mr. Dodo gave me a suggestion to go through all guns and make a series where you just make really good loadouts. This suggestion actually inspired a thought in my mind where I should probably do a video where I rate you guys' setups. I know this is a very unoriginal idea, and like a lot of content creators have already done this, but I want to see what you guys have cooking. I want to see what my own community has cooking. Like, what setups do you guys have that I should try? Like, I'll probably do a whole video where you guys like give me like really goofy, broken, uncanny, maybe good setups, and I just rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. But I'll probably have like a balanced way of scaling things. I don't want it to be really weird. I'll probably make a system of how I rate everything so that it's honest and fair.
What the dog doing?
And finally, the last question here that comes from Mr. Lucas is what do you think of big booty woman? Why am I even thinking about this? You wanna know what I think about big booty woman? I think big booty women have a big booty. Hey, this is very much me. Yes, it's me, Editor Mark, and you won't actually believe how long it took me to edit this entire video compared to like most of the other videos I've actually edited. This video took me a surprisingly 2 days. I mean, that's to like count especially part with all my responsibilities I had to do within these past 2 days. I think it's at like 3:20 in the morning right now. You can technically say I've spent 3 days pretty much trying to edit this video and just trying to get it out. But I just want to really say that if you did actually make it to the end of this video, big thank you to you. I highly appreciate it. Really, I put a lot of energy through finishing this video. I also recorded another video that I'm going to be putting out there for you guys to watch. It's pretty much just me talking a little bit more about like the updates that I kind of wished that came into Phantom Forces. I'm probably going to post it completely unedited so that I will have a little bit of time to do the responsibilities I have to do tomorrow. But other than that, big thank you. I mean, the only favor you can pretty much do for me right now is just leaving a like. Like, that's just for the sake of my mental health. Like, I just went through so much to get this video done. Like, I would really appreciate it, guys. But other than that, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.